It's Monday somewhere in Ontario, and welcome to a new episode of Two Drink Minimum. This would be episode 6. Not bad. More shows than subscribers now. Anyway, lots to talk about today. Had a chance to play the Batman game over the weekend, episode 2 of the Telltale series. I also got a chance to watch Sully. I'll give you my thoughts on that. And I saw Yoga Hosers. Oh, we'll get to that. Anyway, let's start it off. We'll start it off on the negative stuff for Monday. A couple of more deaths to report from Hollywood, and not the Kardashians. Curtis Hanson, director you may or may not know, directed 8 Mile, LA Confidential, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. He passed away at age 71 late last week. Also, Bill Nunn, really good character actor from back in the day, in a bunch of Spike Lee movies. The younger generation might know him as Robbie from the 2002 onward Raimi Spider-Man flicks. He was also in Regarding Henry, played Harrison Ford's physiotherapist, and he was in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg. He passed away late last week, also at the age of 62. But yeah, again, Hollywood getting their ass kicked this year. I don't know what's going on. Let's change the topic a little bit to something a little bit more positive. The Batman Telltale series, episode 2. Got a chance to play through that the other night. Again, it's about an hour or so playtime, so not bad for your bang for your buck. The episode was really good. The story, I'm not going to give away too many spoilers for those who are playing it, but the story is really good. Very different kind of approach to the whole thing. Again, a lot more time spent as Bruce Wayne than Batman. Your choices from the last episode, whatever you chose, will carry over to this one. So characters will remember stuff you've already done. And the choices you're faced with in this episode, the end one there is a doozy. You basically have the choice between saving Selina or Harvey. I'll leave it to you to figure out what might happen depending on which route you take. But I chose to save Selina. Shocking outcome. Not unexpected, but nevertheless, looking forward to episode 3 when that hits. Not sure when that's going to come out. Probably episode 2 just came out, so episode 3 is probably at least a couple months away. But if you haven't had a chance to play it, definitely recommend trying it out. Like I said before, for anyone who liked The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, Wolf Among Us games, then you'll know what you're in store for. And having the Batman twist on it is actually a lot of fun so far. So, next, Death Star DLC. I said I was going to try it out. I haven't had a chance to get it yet. Probably the end of this week I'll pick it up. Been reading some reviews, watching some YouTube footage from it. It looks fun. There are some complaints, though. Apparently, if you bomb out on Battle Station mode, the second phase of the pack, then you basically have to reset and do the entire flight mission at the beginning again. Which, for those who aren't Fighter Squadron fans and just want to be running around the Death Star blasting stormtroopers, is a bit of a pisser. I actually tweeted EA a couple days ago and asked whether or not they're going to be adding Trench Run as a single-player option, which I think could be a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. They say they are adding some new content. Generally speaking, the fans are happy with it. Again, more for the fans of Fighter Squadron than for... I think the only mode they've got on the Death Star battle station is Blast Match, which I've heard is really short. A lot of people are clamoring for like Droid Run, Supremacy, and all that sort of stuff to be added to that too. So we'll see what happens. Next up, Sully. Yeah, the Tom Hanks flick. I finally got a chance to watch that the other day. It wasn't bad. I didn't really know a lot about the story of what happened. I mean, I'd heard about it because they made like a TV movie, Miracle on the Hudson, and but it was like in 2009 this happened. So, but you know, an interesting story. Very cut and dry kind of movie though. Not a lot going on outside of just, you know, here's what happened. Then they turn around and they were like, we think you shouldn't have crashed the plane in the river. You should have been able to make it back to LaGuardia. they run a whole bunch of simulations that prove, yes, he could have made it back, and he goes to trial and says, well, they watch the simulation and it's like, oh, the engines are out, let's turn around right now. And he basically says, like, well, that's not how it happened. We went through, probably burned over 3 minutes just going through the emergency procedures list. So if you add a time delay to that, well, let's see what happens. And they do it, and obviously the plane crashes every time they run the simulation. And then they're like, well, you're innocent, you did the best you could, you saved everybody, hurrah. And that's the end of the movie. 95, 96 minutes long, I think the whole runtime is. For an Eastwood movie, that's surprising, because I was expecting, I don't know if drawing it out a little bit more might have helped, but it was almost like watching a documentary on what happened. So, not the greatest Clint Eastwood movie I've seen. Again, good work by Tom Hanks. Aaron Eckhart's in it also as his co-pilot. But, not the greatest Clint Eastwood movie I've seen recently. Also not the greatest Tom Hanks. But, for those people who like the real drama, reality sort of movies, then check it out. It's worth seeing. Decent special effects. Good all-around acting. But, it's a Tom Hanks film. Anyway, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Restarted this week, or last week, I guess it would be. Watched the first episode. It was okay. It kind of dragged. I mean, it's basically them getting the team back together again after what happened in season 3 and everybody got scattered across. They did introduce Ghost Rider, which still trying to figure out why. I mean, obviously, it's Marvel just got the rights back to him, so why not use him? But again, it's not the Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze that everyone's expecting with the motorcycle. It's I don't even remember what Reyes or something. Latino version of Ghost Rider drives around a big muscle car instead of a bike. His head still bursts into flame and everything else. The effects aren't bad. I mean, considering it's ABC and it's TV and the budget's probably minuscule. They did an okay job. It looks a little bit cartoony in some shots, but interested to see where it goes from here. Obviously, there's lots of people on the fence. They're like, well, this sucks, and stick with the movies. And they do try to tie in the whole thing to the last Civil War, with the Sokovia Accords. So that they are mentioned in this episode. So there is the tension between, the metas who they found from that village or whatever from a couple seasons ago. The Inhumans, I guess they're being called here, sort of, kind of. So there's the threat that they face now of registering and not registering and all the rest of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So we'll see where it goes. Again, these TV shows are kind of a slow burn. They start off, and usually about mid-season they start hitting their stride and making sense out of the story. So we'll see what happens. I've watched basically all the first 3 seasons, more or less. So might as well keep going for now. Leads me to the final thing today, because Chewy's starting to get all randy. Yoga hosers. What a strange. Well, I tweeted Kevin Smith last night, and I was like, pervertedly bizarre. Strange does not begin to sum it up. Bravo, sir. Bravo in that he got it made at all. This movie is... I mean, it's going to be a polarizing effect even on Kevin Smith fans. There's going to be the ones who are like devoted, like I started Clerks is my mantra kind of thing, and then they're going to look at this and go, what the fuck? It is very much a movie like that. There are scenes, like Tusk was fucking strange as it was. I mean, sewing him into a walrus suit. And this is basically an offshoot of Tusk, basically involving, obviously, his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter running the convenience store, aspiring musicians, total typical teenage face in their phone, social media nuts, who run into the situation where, first off, they're being hunted down by devil worshippers. The 2 boys the one boy that they're crushing on comes over for a party and basically says, I'm going to carve you up into little pieces and sacrifice you to the devil. As that happens, there's a Bratzi invasion of the store by foot-tall sausage version of Kevin Smith, who kill their victims by jamming themselves up their asses, basically. It's whoa, like, I don't know what he was smoking on this one, but it must have been a very strong strand. I sat through it though. It was bizarrely entertaining. More so to be like, well, what the fuck are they going to do next? It ends up with Ralph Garman doing almost every impression he's got from Hollywood Babylon as the Nazi Hitler of Canada version, who's been secretly frozen in cryo-freeze underneath the store for 70 years, building his little army. It was... It's worth seeing just for the sake of seeing it. The girls both do a good job. I'm not going to bash on them. Like some of the reviews said that with what material they're given, they do an admirable job. Johnny Depp, I loved him as Guy Lapointe again. The accent's kind of weird, but the mole moving all over his face throughout the movie was fucking hilarious. Again, I don't know, like, check it out, I'd say. It's worth seeing. Don't believe the critics. I mean, obviously, like I said already, there's going to be even the hardcore Kevin Smith fans who are like scratching their heads going, huh? But if you get a chance to see it, definitely check it out. It's one of those movies that's hard to explain, where even like Tusk was. I mean, just go see it, is all I can say. Anyway, Chewie is staring at something in the yard, about to go Wookiee post-apocalyptic. So I'm going to end the episode here. Working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Probably going to try and do another episode sometime this week, maybe. More than likely, probably might be Sunday next week. But anyway, if you haven't already watched the last episode, check it out. Tell your friends, subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.